And there we go. Welcome everyone. Now we can start catching up. Yes. And don't worry, we are not really missing anything. This is the final day, so I'm just going to remove the semi-final section of the text over there. And let's see what we get. Let's see what we get for game number 1. Leader's playing with Italians and Winchester's playing with Japanese. We already saw Japanese, we already saw Italians in this map multiple times. Against each other, not so much. But usually we see instead Vikings against either of these civilizations, and they do work out pretty well. And by the way, Geronimo, are you around still? Thank you so much for the sub. It's very much appreciated. 8 months, only 1 month away from 9 months already. And hello Denmark as well. Hope everything's going alright for you guys. We are catching up here, and the players will be going up to the fuel H in a moment. So let's go through the SIP bonuses. Starting with Leary with Italians is going to get a 15% discount on fish and ships. 15% discount to go up to the next stage, as well as a 15% discount. As a 20% discount, sorry, on gunpowder units. And on top of that, we see for the Italians a 33% discount on docks and university upgrades. Well, for the team bonus. Team bonus is going to give Italians access to condottieri from the barracks, starting in the Imperial Age. And hey, Whitebeard! Hi, welcome. I hope you're doing alright as well. We're looking forward to the final day of Warlords. We have gotten here. It's been quite the journey, right? We have had some of the best games that I have seen in a while. But we are here, and we are starting with the third spot match. Winchester with Japanese instead will get faster working, stronger fish and ships. Gets a discount on drop-off buildings, as well as faster attacking infantry units in the fuel H onwards, and that's going to be about it. For the team bonus, he gets a 50% boost on line of sight on galley line ships, and that's going to be about it. So, fuel H is here for Leary already. We're still trying to catch up. The game was not working before, now it's working. So it delayed us a little bit. We're gonna be there. And for game number 2, you know, there's 2-3 minutes spec delay in between games. It's fine. Here come the galleys though from Leary straight into the fishing ships. And this is huge. If you take a look at the scouting information, Leary had no idea that Winchester was over here necessarily. Now Winch is pushing Leary out. He's got his own galleys with the defense advantage. He's gonna be able to hold on. But Leary, you know, the Austrian player, extremely gifted. Micromanager. Should be able to offset for the defender's advantage just with good unit control. And he's gonna take one galley down over there. One galley down going down for Leary as well. But now, Winchester's losing one without taking one. And all of a sudden, things are looking a lot better for Leary. Oh, that was so close. He ended up losing one of the galleys. And now, he's trying to get the villager. And he got the villager. So he cannot, Winchester, repair the galley anymore. And Leary has so far gotten a little bit of a better KD. 4-3 with one of those being a villager. And now he's bringing additional units over. So it seems as if Winchester might actually end up getting pushed away from water over here very early into the game. If Leary plays his cards right, should be able to. See another galley going down. Then he's gonna try to go after another. Yes, sir. And at this point, it doesn't really matter Leary's unit control in the sense that he's not gonna be dodging the projectiles from Winchester, and he's just banking on the fact, okay, now that matters. That is very good unit control for Leary, but before he was basically just closing the gap over here. And that meant that he also took damage from Winchester much more easily. But because he had a numbers lead, he was in a much better position to take the engagement. And in the end, with a little bit of micro over here, Leary's going to end up cleaning up all the galleys from Winchester. There we go. Cleaning up all the fishing ships. And if Leary plays his cards right over here, he should be in a pretty darn good spot to take full water control over here and prevent Winchester from potentially getting to the center island in a migration game where you cannot get to the center island. It's a migration game where you have no chances to win unless getting water control back, and that's going to be certainly a tall order for Winchester. He was collecting resources and had almost enough to click out to the Castle Age. So did Leary. But of course, Winchester now is kind of forced into investing some of that into extra Navy units and try and grab a little bit of the water again. But doesn't seem like it's gonna be possible at all. Are you casting the finals? Yes, we are casting everything. We are starting with the third spot match, and then the grand finals. I should update the stream title. Hold on. Final sets as opposed to finals, so people don't assume that I am casting somehow the grand final. Let me know if the stream title is updated on your end. But yeah, the grand final is coming up after the series. We are right now casting the third place match. Here we are. Guess it's gonna be here for Winchester indeed. A little bit earlier compared to Leary. But he's got no water presence. He still managed though to get a transport ship out. Wow, and get villagers over to the center, and you know, this is very interesting. Small final, yeah. Yeah, they will eventually get full water control over here. He has been investing into extra Navy units compared to Winchester by quite a lot. So these resources, Winchester could potentially utilize to instead try and go for an extra TC, which he will. Potentially even a third TC and just try to play the center over here. And this could very similarly play out, kind of like yesterday's game with Hera, remember? That was a good one. Oh! Maleri spotted! Winchester, he's got the scout over here, and I think the villagers might go down. Well, one will for sure, right? Good unit control from Winchester over here. Oh, but a quick wall from Winchester. He'll be able to finish that DC. That's fantastic. The scout does not have enough HP anymore to go and take the second villager. Yeah, Leary, you know what? He doesn't have the wood to go for a TC himself. He's got it now, and he's going for the TC. What is that TC location, by the way, Leary? Come on. What is that? Right next to the monastery. Won't be able to place farms around it. Right next to the goal. Won't be able to the wood, right? In between everything. And the monastery hurts the most, of course, because it's fine if you want to protect these resources, the gold and the wood, but wouldn't it have been better for the bull player to potentially go for a DC either over here, right, or over here. Use your imagination and pretend that was a blue TC, alright? Siege Workshop coming up right away for Winchester. He's got both TCs working. Leary and Winchester both have the War Galley upgrades, and now it's going to be War Galleys versus fire ships over here, with the War Galleys being the significantly stronger unit, of course. And a good amount of units. It's going to be very hard for you to take War Galleys down with fire ships. So, Leary's looking fantastic. Should be able to take all of this down for sure. Nice walls over here as well. Leary manages to protect the monk. Might be able to get a conversion over there. There's a full HP villager. If he had gotten this villager, that would have been great, but Winchester already managed to get the TC up, so he's got extra villagers coming out. It's not just going to be 2 villagers anymore. With the Siege Workshop, Winchester's gotta be careful. Leary is going for Atonement, can very well go for Redemption as well. Let me take a look. Does he know about the Siege Workshop? He knows about the Siege Workshop, so he might actually have gone for Redemption first, and now Atonement. I'm not really sure, didn't see it. But it could very well be the case. This is really good, by the way, for Winchester, that he's got a backwood over here, so at the very least he'll be able to keep on collecting resources back on the starting island. So here is the mangonel And redemption is coming now for Leary. He didn't have it before, so he's gotta wait. But check this out! He's pushing Winchester with the fear factor. At the very least, Winchester kind of flinched over there for a moment, but he's back targeting the TC, and he's trying to ignore the monks over here. He realizes that he would have already targeted the Mangonels if he had the upgrade, but now he's got redemption. And now we see the Mangonels being targeted, and now Winchester gets pushed away from here. So he was trying to go after the Mangonels. Leary's gonna be the one, or Winchester's gonna be the one rather, to go after the monks. And this can be huge if Winchester gets the monks over here. And the monks are being ejected right now. There we go. Pop goes the weasel. We have 3 monks over there. We see a conversion coming up. 1 for each. And in the end, both these guys are going to lose their monks by the looks of it. And the DC goes down, so Winchester gets the better end of the deal over there. Sure, he lost 2 monks compared to only 1 from Leary. But Leary doesn't really have any protection over here. Winchester can go over there and take the remaining monk down easily. Plus, of course, Winchester was the one able to get the TC down anyway. And let's see. See a conversion coming up over there. Does he have Sanctity? He doesn't have Sanctity, so the scouts can very well take this. There we go. Yes. Oh, but the conversion connects though. Still not very cost effective, obviously. You don't want to convert scouts with monks. And there's another TC on the way for Leary, and so far Winchester's been able to stay in the game like this, despite the fact that he ended up losing full water control. Or rather, he ended up losing whatever water presence he had, as he never really had map water control, rather. Now the center, he's looking stronger. He's got 2 TCs. He's got a castle on the way. And Leary's just got the TC coming up over here. Winchester gets pushed away by a monk over there. He brings his own monks back. Let's see. Just gotta be careful over here. We'll see the scouts coming over. He's gotta be careful. Oh, he's going back to the DC. And the monk gets converted. These are like cavalry right now, by the way. So Leary's units are significantly stronger and will take down these monks in 2 hits. Especially without Sanctity. Nice conversion over there. See another one. Leary loses, or gets 1 extra monk, sorry. Winchester loses another one, and now the mana goes down, and Winchester cannot get this castle up. Not over there. Leary's got just too many monks! And Winchester calls a GG. So Leary's gonna be up 1-0. And while he was looking stronger, he was in the driver's seat since the very beginning. Because the galleys getting full water control, Winchester was able to hold on a little bit longer and certainly give Leary a run for his money at the center. In the end, Leary ultimately will be the one to get the game. So 1-0 for Leary. Let's go through the achievements before going back. Here we are. We have a better KD for Leary with about 21 to 20 KD ratio. Meanwhile, for economy, stronger economy for Winchester by a little bit, actually, just 13 extra resources, not too much. A larger villager max count for Winchester compared to Leary. He lost a few villagers too, with only 1 villager lost. Leary ended up losing 4 villagers. However, for fishing ships, of course, Winchester took the most losses. As a matter of fact, that is actually not true. Winchester did not have any fishing ships left in the end, so he did end up losing all of his water economy, but Leary ended up actually losing 9 as opposed to 7 over here, so I guess technically that was better for Winchester too, but it was very difficult for him to make it work at the center. Well played. Best of 5 for this series, a best of 9 for the grand finals. We'll be covering both, of course. Let's try and catch up a little bit over here. There shouldn't be too much for us to catch up for, since we jumped into the game basically 1 minute after it had already run out of spec delay, so by the time we get to 3 minutes or so, we should, at most, be already caught up. Regardless, though, yeah, there we go, 2 minutes and a half. Taking a look at the civilizations over here for game number 2, Leary's playing with Hindustanis, Winchester's playing with Cumans. And for these civs, starting with the Bull player civilization, Leary's going to have, first off, 25% faster attacking camels. They get 10, 15, 20, and 25% cheaper villagers in the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages. On top of that, for Hindustanis, we'll see +1/+1 armor and gunpowder units. And for the team bonus, Hindustanis will also have... Let's check. Beautiful. The team bonus, Hindustanis will also have 2 bonus damage from camel rider units like cavalry and Hussar against buildings. Moving over to the red player civilization then for Cumans. We have the ability to go for a second TC in the Fuel Age, and Cumans have been a very popular civilization choice on this map. And how popular exactly, I'm not really sure. Let me take a look at the spectator dashboard over here really quickly to take a look at some of the map stats. So for Warlords, and for this map specifically, Yucatan. Okay, I found it. Cumans are actually not a top 5 civilization, which I am fairly surprised by. They have been super strong, and we have seen them already be super strong. As a matter of fact, not even close. The top 5 civilizations for this map are Mongols, Britons, Gujaras, as well as Burgundians, and finally Hindustani. So we have one of the top 5 civilizations, of the 5 most popular civilizations, but not all of them. In any case, for the Cumans on top of the second TC, they can go for in the Fuel Age. And let's take a look at this. Leary's going for a drush. Might be able to get a villager. He gets the villager already! Early aggression coming in from the Bull player. Getting the villager down. Winchester taking the first loss in the game. We'll get to the Fuel Age still earlier though, and we'll try to go for the second TC between the goal and the wool line over here. Will he? Will he actually? Ah, is he trying to bait Leary? Well, Leary cannot see the villagers. I think he was probably anticipating Winchester to move it over to the right hand side. Now Winchester's gonna go to the left instead. Interesting, alright. And like this, secures the berries. So one villager goes down so far. I think that might have been the reason why Winchester decided to go over the left hand side, because going over the right hand side and trying to rely on the deer over here would be extremely risky, given that Leary can't take the deer down, right? So now that the game has somewhat stabilized and Leary's done doing as much damage as he can possibly do around Winchester's base, let's keep on going. Winchester's going to have also the ability to go for siege workshops in the Fuel Age, from where he can train battering rams only. On top of that, we have access to the cat ram upgrade and the castle age, and we're gonna see also for Cumans. Oh, nice! 35 discount with discount on archer ranges and the stables. Besides that, for the team bonus, we'll see for Cumans extra HP on, yeah, walls.
Namaste, Adesh.
There we go. So far, so good. Yeah, and Leary's unlikely to achieve too much with these militias anymore. So it's just gonna try and go up to the castle age, which I do like. Drudge fast castle over here is going to be the next best thing after a straight fast castle, of course, and especially because he already managed to get a villager down, like, it's not too bad. Oh, and Leary's getting another villager down, but it's so close! He loses the militias! Winchester saves his economy. Whatever's left. Age of Empires. Sorry about that.
Evet.
Evet.
आदेश
There we go.
मैं तैयार हूँ हाँ
Anok mu?
Albedax. He's coming out for Lear as he goes out to the castle edge. He's already completely walled himself off. Vinchester is not going to be able to go up to the castle edge just yet. Interestingly enough, he doesn't seem to be making a play for stone, which is something that we humans oftentimes do when they play for the double TC feudal boom. As they eventually, okay, there we go. It seems like he's going to make a transition now. Just as I was talking about it, now we see Vinchester go for the first stone miner. And we usually say this because Vinchester's economy, the Cuman economy, by the time they get to the castle edge is so strong that it's oftentimes pretty smooth for them to go for the castle and then just go up to the Imperial Age because they have the resources. All they gotta get is the buildings, right? And with the castle alone, they are already able to go up.
Amuk men. Evet.
Here we go. Scouts are coming over from Leary. It's unlikely he'll be able to do too much damage over here. Winchester has time to get the Quake Walls up over here. Bring the villagers back, and he's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, and in the end, Leary does end up kind of pushing Winchester around, but it's unlikely he'll be able to do any damage over here. Well, Winchester's got to be careful, though. He's bringing a, what is that, 5 HP villager? He's bringing a 5 HP villager over to the berries. Which Leary would very easily be able to snipe. As the Will player got to the castle edge, he's going for the second and third TCs as well. Right next to the stones as well. And Winchester, well, Winchester's got a much stronger economy still. He's got 12 extra villagers. By the time he gets to the castle edge, Leary should be able to catch up for some of these, but not for all of them. And in any case, Winchester would have collected a lot of extra resources too. So he should have a much stronger economy. He should find himself in a much better spot. Pretty soon as well. 15 seconds for the castle edge for Winchester. And Leary doesn't seem to be planning on going for any extra aggression, so after he loses the 4 units he sent already, that's gonna be about it. And it's not going to be in hand to do any more damage. The castle's coming out now for Winchester. Yes, sir. This is what I was talking about, and he had to buy a little bit of stone, mind you, but he's getting the castle up over here now. He does not have a strong enough economy to go up to the Imperial Age right away, but he still has a stronger economy compared to Leary's. Just needs to get a 30C to make sure that Leary cannot catch up. And he's collecting some stone still, so it seems to me like he's going to go for it. And Leary's still being extremely annoying. How much either villager time has Winchester gotten just trying to garrison units from this camel's aggression, and now he realized about the overchop over there just in time, and it's incredible to see these players. Reaction times. Why such a defensive castle? He doesn't really have anything to defend these units to try and go for an offensive castle, and he doesn't really know what Leary's got. So, for instance, if these camels spotted the castle coming up forward, the villagers will be too far away from the TC, and without nailing a quick wall, they will risk going down and potentially getting the castle denied as well. Because they just got the camels forward as well, he could potentially spot any villagers moving forward too. Ideally, yes, Winchester could have made a play for a 4 castle if he wanted to, but he would have needed some military so that he can guarantee the castle coming up. He's got something to defend the builders with. Give checks coming out though. He's got already 4. A few more queued up. And these will be good. These will take the camels down once you get enough numbers. As is the case with most ranged units. These guys are going to be kind of like cavalry archers. Well, they are cavalry archer units, right? Just a different type of cavalry archer. And yeah, you do not need too many because of the additional projectiles for these compared to standard cavalry archers. But still, you need a good amount. And because you're only able to produce them from the castle, it's going to take some time to get them up. Very importantly, Winchester managed to get the 3rd TC up already. So that means that now he's going to have the same TC count as Leary. And he was still able to retain some of his villager lead. So from this point onwards, Leary's going to be playing catch up against the moving target. Winchester should be able to prevent Leary from catching up in villager count. And take a look at that! This is exactly what we were talking about. Leary tried to go for a castle forward, or at the very least he was sending the villagers. And he got completely caught up by Winchester. Fortunately for Leary, he got pushed back right into the TC when he was just a few tiles away from it, as opposed to when he was at the center of the map, right? In the middle of the map, where he would have just lost all the villagers. But take a look at that! Now Winchester knows on the right-hand side. We'll see a monk over there from Leary's gonna try to get the conversion. And now Winchester is closing the gap. He's gonna try and take the monk down, and he takes the monk, but loses one of the units. And now the conversion is coming up. And Winchester bails. Leary's got the defenses he needs. The camels, the monk. The castle's coming up. Well, I do like the amount of units Winchester's got, the amount of cave checks he's got. They are not all in the same spot, so he cannot really deny this one. And Leary's going to get the castle up, and the game's going to kind of equalize. Now, Winchester's got a little population problem over here. He cannot really let this happen. Otherwise, Leary's catching up. Second castle on the way for Winchester. About to double his production potential for Cape Check. And Leary might not have gotten quite as many villagers for quite as long as Winchester, but because he's playing Hindustanis, remember, with each age, he saves progressively more and more resources for every villager he trains compared to Winchester. So by the time they are equal on villager count, Leary has already saved hundreds of resources on these villagers. In special with the majority of these 81 villas from Leary coming up in the castle age from the 3 TCs, which come already at a 20% discount, so it's 10 per villager, right? That is going to be quite a significant discount over here, and that should be about 500 resources Leary has saved already, going for the same villagers as Winchester. Of course, the red player has had the villagers for longer, so that means that he's got a much higher gather economy time over here. Over an hour and 15 extra minutes compared to Leary, and that means that he has managed to get actually about 2,000 extra resources, or that should be the case. Let's take a look. Economy. More so than that, actually. 2,800 extra resources for Winchester, which kind of offsets for the villager discount and still leaves Winchester in a better position overall. That is why he was able to go for the 2nd TC as well, while still being able to produce the same amount of military units that he's been going for, while still being able to keep up villager production from the same amount of TCs that he's been going for as well. Wouldn't it be better to build another TC? A 4 TC for what player? Yeah, you can go for one. I would say Leary probably want to go for it. Winchester probably will want to try and make a play for the Imperial Age over here as soon as possible. He's getting very close. Now that both players have castles, usually that results in a race to the Imperial Age to see who gets to trebuchets first. And Winchester's going to beat Leary in that race by the looks of it. Still struggling for population though, and this is not good. Winchester needs to sort this out. Even if he's clearing out the camels over here, he's kind of delaying himself a little bit too much. There we go, Imperial Age is on the way for Winchester, guys! Game is looking good, game 2 is looking good for the red player, and it's going to still look pretty good for the next 10 minutes or so. And then by the time Leary manages to get to the Imperial Age, that's when things get a little bit harder for Winchester. Humans are not the civilization to scale the best in Imperial Age, so getting there earlier, getting trebuchets out, right, is going to give them a little bit of a power spike, obviously, as any civilization would get. But they do not get Bracer, for instance. Their cape checks are not scaling quite as nicely compared to some of the other civilizations' unique units with the elite upgrade either. So the whole point for Winchester is to get to the Imperial Age, trap the castles down from Leary, and then go forward and start getting the raids going before Leary is able to get to the Imperial Age himself, to potentially go for heavy and Imperial Camel. And yeah, potentially getting access to bombard cannons as well, which Winchester doesn't get access to. And yeah, basically Winchester creates a 10-minute time window of opportunity, so to say, once he gets to the Imperial Age that he needs to take advantage of, otherwise Leary should be able to catch up without too many issues. Is the volume alright, by the way? Voice volume, voice level, game, sound level as well, let me know. Right now I see the meters in OBS, and it seems as if capturage is very loud, but I think we should be louder, right? It should be fine, it should be properly balanced. I think the voice should be easily audible on top of the game. Thank you for the follow today, guys, as well, and welcome to the channel. It's very much appreciated. Spartan Tactics coming out for Winchester. He's going for whatever he can get. Leather Archer Armor. Chemistry, of course, he doesn't get Bracer as stated already, and the trebuchet is on the way. It's all fine? Thank you. Nice. Yeah, the trebuchet is on the way. We have 2 trebuchets over there on the way. 4 trebuchets on the way from Winchester. Damn! It's gonna try and get another castle up in the north. And this one, northwest, Leary should have vision of because of the outpost. But he's just missing with the Golem. That is so unlucky for him. If he had come forward a little bit earlier, he would have been able to spot these villagers while they were going forward. And what is going on? Where is Winchester going? What? Ah, he realized about the Golem? No, he's in the villagers out. And now he's going after the castle, so that's just a little bit of a misclick. But anyway, Jewish is already out. We have the hill advantage over here. Winchester should be able to take the castle down over here. Without castles, there are no Golems. Poor Leary. And while I like this unit, usually, against any ranged unit, multi-projectile units such as Skipjack, you know, Chukanu, that kind of stuff, are actually going to be a little bit better against these guys because you're going to have extra damage. Even if it's not too high, the extra projectiles do still deal extra damage. Not all of them are going to connect, but it's still going to be better than just having one projectile coming out. We see the castle coming up over here. Lear's reaction is not fast enough. He might have noticed about the castle, but he's coming forward too late. And now he's losing one castle himself. He's losing the siege workshop. And Winchester, backing the troops up, is about to move forward to keep on marching. Take on the castle as well. And Leary's banking on these castles for Gulag production. Wow, Leary just goes on to call the GG right there. Does not want to keep on going anymore over here. We knew that Winchester was in a much better position, and Leary was on his way to the Imperial Age, so he could have tried a little bit longer, but the momentum that Winchester was getting over here was too big, and Leary realistically wouldn't really have been able to do too much about it. So let's go and take a look at the achievements before hopping back out. For military, a very nice KD for Winchester. In the end, it's going to be about 94, a little bit higher than that even. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Winchester, having collected throughout the game 4,056 extra resources, while for society, we see a stronger villager max count for Leary. So he did have a higher villager max count over here. You can take a look. When we draw the line at 50%. But Winchester had a lot of extra villagers for a lot longer in the game. So of course that's why his economy was so much stronger, and it didn't really matter how many villagers Leary had at most, when it came at a cost of a much later Imperial Age and gave Winchester the opportunity to push. So Cumans on this map are a very, very strong civilization, and I am surprised that they are not top 5. They may actually be top 5 for results. They are not a top 5 picked civilization for this map, but I guess that could potentially change. We can potentially discuss what comes up later. I think we had Leary in the blue color, right, before, and we had Winchester in red. Yeah. Leary was coming with blue Gulam. I like the current state of the pro scene 2 years ago. It would have been a wipe by Leary, but this is open for both. Yes, and I think the map pool also lends itself for this kind of situation, whilst before the tournaments wouldn't have quite as diverse map pools. And they would consist mostly of standard maps, which is not a bad thing, but this is different from that. Especially, obviously, compared to tournaments such as King of the Desert. We'll take a look at the TC location for both these guys, starting with the civilizations first, though. We'll take a look at Leary civilization and notice that Malians will get 30% longer lasting golds. They get a 15% wood discount on buildings, as well as 1 extra pierce armor on barracks units per age, starting in the Fuel Age. Up to +3 in the Imperial Age, of course. On top of that, we also see for the Malians, for the team bonus, 80% faster work in universities. And then for Winchester, on the other hand, playing with Byzantines, is going to have a myriad of bonuses. Starting with a 25% discount on Skirm, Spear, and Camel Rider units. We'll also see for the Red Player Civilization 10, 20, 30, and 40% extra HP on buildings in the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages. 25% faster attacking galley line units means that water control over here is definitely on the table for Winchester, and on top of that we also get free town watch and free town patrol, which can be actually quite clutch on these maps where vision is so scarce at the very beginning. And in addition to that, Byzantines will also have a 33% discount to go up to the Imperial Age. Finally, for the team bonus, their monks heal units 100% faster, so he's coming forward. We take a look at the vision. He didn't necessarily know where Winchester was, but he should pretty much know now that he can see the boar dead. He should know about the TC, and now he does. So it surprises me that he's actually going to lose a villager over here because of it. What is going on with Leary? He should have known. I have no idea. Now he loses the first villager over there. That's going to be first blood. And then, yeah, Winchester. Take a look. He doesn't know where Leary is yet. Now let's take a look at the TC location. Starting with Leary. What will we see for the bull player over here? We're gonna see 1 goal up in the north. Beyond the wood lines, so not the best. We have the stone over here as well on the left-hand side. I mean, beyond the wood line is not the best in the sense that it's kind of far away, but it's still going to be kind of safe because both these resources are technically on the back, right? And then the wood line over here is going to be technically on the back as well. And with the walls that he seems to be going for over here and, you know, potentially over here, he will be able to secure also this wood line, right? Some hunting over here with the deer. Some hunting over here as well if he wanted to go for it. Most likely not going to happen, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad for Leary, and it should be pretty easy for him to secure this. Taking a look at the TC location over here for Winchester, on the other hand, he's also going for the walls towards water. So if he went for something like this, he'll be able to secure himself as well. But he's got the goal forward. Stern is going to be on the back, and then he's got another goal over here on the back. Although, honestly, if we are to see a wall like this for Winchester, like this one, right? He will end up securing the vast majority of the map over here versus the blue player, who would only end up kind of securing this only. Everything changes once you add Navy units into the equation, the potential for transport ships as well, and that's a villager going down over there for Leary. And actually, a villager going down for Leary. Let me go back over here and take a look at the masterpiece, because you're usually expecting Leary to be the one to be pulling these kinds of plays. Not necessarily Winchester. And Winchester's bringing the villager over. I want to see this, man. Take a look at that. Oh, that is so good. And, you know, Leary could actually have deleted this, but he realized about it too late. Oh, and he lost the villager at the last second, Winchester. Ends up getting away with it. Leary sent the villager, but it's too late already. Let's catch up. FLH is here for both these guys. We'll see some Navy. On the left-hand side, Leary's docks are going to be not the best position for fishing. Meanwhile, up in the north, Winchester's in a much better spot for fishing with so much extra deep fish available to him. Meanwhile, over here, we have a very narrow passage for Leary to work with. Sending the galleys over the right-hand side, though. There's nothing over there. But he's sending another galley up in the north, and now he spots this. With one fishing ship going down, Leary is going to equalize the KD so far. Yes, Winchester lost a villager earlier. He sent the villager over to Winchester's TC. Winchester realized and garrisoned the TC, so Leary lost it. It even seemed kind of awkward because Leary should have known the TC was there. There was a dead boar in the fog of war, just at the edge of the TC, but then he sent the villager anyway. Really bad map for Leary, I think. Only access to one goal. That could present a problem in the future. For the time being, the goal is going to give him enough resources to get going and get whatever he needs. Navy units out as well. And potentially try to get map presence elsewhere. Village is here. Winchester has gone for a tower forward. And this just goes to show... Oh, a villager goes down for Leary. Man, 3-2 KD. This just goes to show just how remarkable it is. These players are able to keep up with so many things at the same time. We're taking a look at the water over here. While the players were microing units, and then at the same time, we had a little bit of a tower war over here. In the end, Winchester ends up getting pushed away from here, but he was able to get another villager down from Leary. And now... yeah, Leary's gonna be scrambling over here to stay alive. On the water. He's got only 4 galleys, which is not bad. Galleys are better compared to fire galleys, but you need numbers, right? And right now, with only 5, okay, 5. With only 5 over here, Leary is gonna need to be paying attention to those units at all times if he wants to take cost-effective trades. Archers for Winchester. Archer range, and I think Leary doesn't really have anything in terms of land unit production, right? Never knows. He's just gonna be focusing on water. Well, Winchester, with the archers, he cannot come past the walls, but he's got a transport ship over there. He's bringing villagers over too. And this is big, guys. He's got 2 villagers on the way. He's got 3 archers coming up. And Leary's got nothing to defend himself with. Other than the possibility of going for towers, for which Leary already has the resources. He's got nothing, you know, no military production. So Winchester's gotta go for it. He might be able to get a villager down or 2 before the tower comes up. He doesn't have fletching though, so these archers are not particularly strong. There's a tower coming up now for Winchester as well. So the first one ended up getting taken down, but this one puts him in a pretty good spot. This tower is going to push Winchester away from here and leave him to collect resources only from here or this one, right? Which are also kind of exposed because if Winchester brings the villagers over and goes for extra towers behind both those wood lines, they won't be able to keep on collecting resources anymore. Now, on water, by the way, Leary has managed to get water control. As Winchester ended up losing the majority of the fishing ships, he's got only one left. And he's better off focusing on land over here. There we go. We should see another tower come up. This is a beautiful, beautiful position for Winchester to start putting pressure and doing damage. He's going around the right hand side, could not really find much of anything, so now he's got the villagers over here and he's gonna try and place the tower where Leary cannot see him, hopefully, but Leary actually has vision because of the blacksmith over here. And it's very interesting, yeah, that Winchester did not try to go for the tower on the back of the woodland over here, and Leary's going to react with a counter tower over here just in case. And in the end, the tower is coming up over here for Winchester. And Leary's got resources to go for yet another tower, so he's going to react over here, and in the end, Winchester won't really be able to do quite as much damage as I was expecting him to be able to do, and he's completely walled himself off. He's got a very tiny economy to work with. And because he got pushed away from the gold, he's gonna have to rely on the market to get up to the castle age, and he needs to find a way to release the gold over there, as you guys were mentioning. That is the only gold for Leary. And Winchester did such a good job with the tower to deny that one, to deny the wood over here. 2 resources with a single fortification. That is so good for Winchester. Leary shouldn't struggle too much to take the tower down, though. There are no defenses over here whatsoever for Winchester. He's got 3 archers garrisoned over there, but Leary commits about 6 or 7 villagers to take the tower down. This one goes down in 30 seconds or so, so it's not, you know, the end-all be-all tower for Winchester. I would definitely like for him to try and, at the very least, palisade this one, given the importance of denying this gold. But Leary, for the time being, will manage his javelin's economy to go up to the castle age, and Winchester is not close just yet, mainly because of the food situation. And you gotta imagine having lost the fishing ships makes for a big difference over there. There, he could potentially also go for a castle once he gets to the castle age. He does have 5 stone miners. And getting a castle right next to the gold over there, potentially close to the stone would be good, like one over here. Probably around here. Would secure this. Actually, would take the tower down and secure this. Secure this potentially as well, and then we could see for the wool player an extra TC coming up elsewhere as well, but he doesn't really have too much space to work with. I don't think this would be a good spot for a TC necessarily. Nah. Maybe the left-hand side? Otherwise, he's kind of confined to a single TC, which is not ideal. He's got a tower over here. I guess probably over here, just lead the gate, right? And go for it. No, he's going for the TC. Yeah, he'll still be able to take the tower down, but this is going to result in maybe 1 villager going down, perhaps. Oh man, that was so close, actually. How did Leary survive over there? I have no idea. Where is a villager from Leary down the south? It's over here. That's about it. He does have a transport, so yeah, he could potentially migrate and go and try and get some extra resources elsewhere. Here's transporting villagers down the south. This is where he had already this villager. He's already been going for houses and stuff over here. What is this going to be for? You gotta wonder. He's got the resource to go for a castle. And this could be a game-ending castle if he found a good spot for it. Let me take a look at the point of view from Leary. What does he know about? He knows where the TC is. He knows there's a hill over here. There's a hill on the back of the TC. But it's gotta be careful because remember, Winchester, he gets free town watch and free town patrol. So if you take a look at the point of view from Winchester, he's got so much vision. He can see already the transport ship. Doesn't seem to be paying attention though to this area. Otherwise he would have been able to target the transport ship already. Although Leary would have just landed anyway. But yeah, the tower has gone down for Winchester and Leary gets access to the goal once again. Just passing. And Leary, he doesn't know what to do with the villagers. That's a lot of other economy, mind you. Thankfully for him, the Finnish ships are going to compensate for this. Oh! And the transport ship, it's get... Yep. It's about it. The transport ship gets taken down. As we see, Winchester has vision of the villagers. And he's got some archers over here. Where are the archers? He's got the archers over here. Why is he not looking for the villagers? Where's he going? He's going over the left-hand side. He saw the villagers over here, didn't he? Did he not see the villagers land? What is Winchester doing? I think he's trying to look for the villagers on the left-hand side. Was not going to find them. I think he... Maybe he targeted the transport ship. And then thought that the villagers went down with it. Perhaps. There's a cast coming out for Winchester in front of Leary's TC. Leary's gonna be forced to drop in defensive castle over here, and that's going to result in a lot of villagers going down, most likely. Let's take a look. The castle doesn't really have enough range to deny this one. With Bakinaro, he probably would have gotten enough. But now it's just going to be a castle war, as Leary's definitely getting this castle up. DC comes up over here for Leary as well, and Winchester still has no idea about it. I think he probably just thought the transport ship went down and the villagers went down with it. It was an automatic attack. That could have been the case, yes. Maybe he was not actually microing the fire ship over here, and it was just another attack. So TC is coming up. He's already out for Leary. After all, Winchester was paying attention forward, trying to get a castle up here. Rams already coming out from Leary, and Winchester's getting a defensive manual over here, which should suffice for him to get the ram down and protect the foundation or the base of this castle. But it's already gone down by quite a lot of HP. Meanwhile, Winchester's going for the petards. We have petards coming out for Leary over here. And this castle from Winchester's going down no matter what. It's going down, and Leary's castle is staying up. Simple addition or subtraction. This castle is going to need fewer petards to go down compared to Leary, despite the extra HP that the Byzantines get. This has already gotten enough damage. This has already taken enough damage to more than offset for that. So we only need about 5 petards over here for Winchester to take the castle down. He's already on 6. And Leary, on the other hand, he needs all 7 to take Leary's castle down. So, with everything else being equal, well, Leary should be the one getting the castle down. We'll see. He's got those 7. He's going forward now. Is he? He's going for more. Yeah, this is a Byzantine castle. Okay, this is so slow from Leary. He could actually have gotten the castle down already. Now he's given Winchester enough time to repair the castle. So Leary needs to go for extra petards. He's got 8 over here. He's going to need more than that. It's going to take about 10, 11 petards to take down Winchester's castle, while Winchester, on the other hand, at this point in time, has managed to get all the petards he needs out, and here he comes. Leary's not paying attention. The ram's over there. The TC goes down on the castle. The castle is going to survive for the time being. That was a clutch bunch of petards over there for Leary, protecting his castle by taking the petards from Winchester down, and unfortunately for the red player, he couldn't unleash all the units on the left-hand side because of this house. And many of these had to go around the house, which is very unfortunate. If he had garrisoned these one at a time, perhaps he would have gotten a better chance, but in the end, it's going to be the case that both these guys will stay up. And now Leary's clicking up to the Imperial Age, and check this out. Winchester will try to go for a TC right next to where Leary's got his own TC up. And if we take a look at the blue player, he should have vision of this. But we'll see if he's paying attention. If he does pay attention to it, should be able to deny this pretty easily. Yeah, he sees the villagers coming up now. The cast is coming out. Did Leary get murder holes? I'm going to answer that for you. By the way. He didn't. No. No murder holes for the Malian player, no. Yeah, there we go. It kind of seems to me like actually Winchester was the one noticing and he bailed as opposed to Leary denying this. And with the water control we have for Leary, he's able to protect his proxy base. And there's an extra TC coming up for Winchester. This is actually a very appealing area for the red player because if he can take this TC down, there's not too much over here for Leary to defend himself with. And that's 16 villagers up for grabs. Imperial is gonna be here for Leary in about 40 seconds. Meanwhile, Winchester sending some knights around. Does anybody know how many petards it takes to take a Byzantine castle down? In the castle age, they do have 30% extra HP, so that should be about 9 petards. 10 petards, 9.5, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be actually 9 or 10, because 7 takes a standard castle, right? But I don't know if that's with extra damage. How much extra damage? So I would assume probably you would be safe with 10 instead. Defensive castle coming up for Leary. And the man over there is going to deny this for the time being as he gets to the Imperial Age. We'll see trebuchets come out for the blue player. Of course, he's got 2 castles over here, so he gets the trebuchets right out. And this castle should be going down from Winchester in a moment. So what will the red player have to work with over here? No castles anymore. In terms of military, he doesn't really have too much. 13 military units only for the red player. Still in the castle age, and he'll be able to click up to the Imperial Age in a moment for sure. But doesn't seem like he'll be able to push Leary away from the south. Doesn't seem like he'll be able to hold on against Leary's push up in the north. I don't want to be the one to call it early, but it certainly seems as if this might actually be MGG for Winchester. Yeah, I'm struggling to find the win condition for Winchester indeed. It's one of those situations where the red player finds himself in a position where if he plays the game perfectly and Leary plays the game perfectly, Leary's going to come out on top 10 out of 10 times. So unfortunately, Winchester kind of is going to be relying on Leary messing the game up in some way, making some mistakes, which is obviously not a good win condition because it's well beyond your control. You want to have a win condition that you'll be able to execute on. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like there is too much, right? The builders are coming around. We don't have any units for Winchester. And guys, I think we might see the GG over here even before Winchester gets to the Imperial Age. Yeah, right away he calls it. So, Leary 2, Winchester 1. We can jump into game number 4. And of course, that's going to be match point already. Let's go and take a look at the achievements really quickly over here before hopping out. We'll see. A better KD for Leary in the end. It's going to be very, very close to 5 to 3 KD ratio. Well, for economy, we have a stronger economy for Leary. For society, we have a stronger villager max count for Leary. A stronger villager count at the end of the game as well. He ended up taking only about 7 losses over here. Meanwhile, Winchester ended up losing about 17 units instead. And that's without taking into account the fishing ships, of which Winchester lost 4. And Leary lost more, actually. He lost 7 fishing ships, but he was still on a much stronger economy. Ever since he got water control, he was the only player with fishing ships that already gave him a little bit of a lead. And then from that point onwards, it was just Much better worker count for Leary compared to Winchester, both for villagers and for fishing ships. Well done. So predictions are on. For the next 5 minutes, you can use your channel points to predict who you think is going to win the next one. Option 1, Winchester. Option 1, Leary, sorry. Option 2, Winchester. So that we keep consistency between the prediction contest and the game caller for the players. Alright, and we already have some nice bones coming in over here. Predicting for Winchester to take game number 4. Okay.
Mandatum. Ready.
Let's take a look at the civilizations. We knew what to expect in terms of civ for this map. It was always going to be Britons versus Poles. And this is a very interesting one. I am personally liking Poles a little bit better myself. But we'll go through the civilization bonuses and the map generation for both these guys as well. Vince's Poles, this is over before it's even started. Well, we saw somebody say something like that, something very similar to that, not too long ago when we had a seemingly one-sided civilization matchup on this map, and it did not necessarily go that way. It's always going to be about the players, right? Not so much about the civilizations. I assume you're talking about the player anyway, because you're saying Venge and his Poles. Not Poles for Venge, or something like that. So you're prioritizing the player over there. You have faith, and that is great. I want to see you get the predictions going. Taking a look at the civilizations then. Starting with Leary, we're going to see for Britons, 1 and 2 extra range on foot archer units in the castle and Imperial Ages, except for skirmishers. As well as a 50% wood discount on TC started in the castle age, and 25% faster working shepherds. For the team bonus, Leary's going to have, in addition to that, 20% faster working archer ranges. On the right hand side, Winchester instead with Poles will get villages with HP regeneration with 5, 10, 15 and 20 HP regeneration per minute in the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages. Besides that, there's going to be for Poles also stone miners that collect gold in addition to stone. Per each unit of stone that they mine, they are going to generate 0.5 units of gold. They have access to Folwark. For the team bonus, their Scoutland units get 1 bonus damage against archer type units, so Winchester over here is going to have definitely a strong civilization. Against Britons, he can go for Winged Hussar. They're going to be very cheap, very cost effective. And against Longbows or even Arbalisters, they are going to be quite strong, of course. So you're just going to need to come up with something else. Taking a look at the map generation, starting with Leary. You're going to see for the Bull player, he's got the main goal on the back, which is great. He's got the secondary goal forward. And this one is too far away from the walls to get spotted by a scout and outside the walls. By a scout outside the walls, even in the castle age. And then as expected, we do have the main stone inside, too far away from the walls, and then the secondary stone and the secondary missing golds, they are both going to be outside as well. This is a fine map for Leary, and it's going to service him just fine. Taking a look at the map generation for Winchester instead. What do we get for the red player? We're gonna have the main stone on the back, which is good. The main goal is on the left-hand side. It's too far away from the walls to get spotted. And the secondary goal over here is going to be in a similar position towards the southeast. So it's gonna be fine. Oh, by the way, I just realized this arrow kind of looks like Amazon's logo. Turned a little bit. I don't like it. There we go. And then the secondary gold and the secondary stone. Those are going to be outside the walls. And yeah, both players are going to be fine over here. Nobody's got any exposed resources. The fuel age is coming out for Leary and for Winchester. It's just going to be a standard fast castle for both these guys. Fast Winchester? No, not for this one. Not for this one. It's just going to be standard fast castle into economy. Is Winchester's northeast of his wool line connected or not? Over here? Doesn't really have quite as much space for wood collection though compared to Leary. Leary's got so much more to collect from over here. A much wider wood lane. Oh, interesting. Leary chase Winchester Scout, and it keeps the gate open. It's unlikely he'll be able to do much of anything over here. We had 2 scouts over here, so Winchester's going to push Leary away. And basically, Leary was just kind of forcing Winchester into spending some resources over here. Oh, over here, this. No, this is not connected. There's one tile over there. It's fine, he can go for 1 stone wall and he'll be okay. Because he's playing with poles, he's already been collecting stones, so it's not like it's going to, you know, stain his perfect 200 stone that other civilizations would need in order to get the TCs up, so it's doesn't make too much of a difference. But yeah, connecting this, that's going to give him a lot of extra space to collect wood from as well. That is not northeast, by the way. This is southeast. Winchester's base. I still figured it out. I should get a prize over here. I should get an award. Piece of candy. Or a golden star. I'll take a golden star. Extra TC is coming up for Leary as soon as he gets to the castle age, and he's got almost enough stone to go for the 4 TC. Meanwhile, Winchester is getting to the castle age. He's got a monastery on the way. Not enough wood to go for any extra TCs. But he will be the one securing all the relics at the very least. There we go. Hey! Got my golden star. Yay! There we go. The 4TC is coming out now for Lear as well. He's just gonna play for economy. This is something that we'll see Winchester go for as well. As soon as he can afford it. For the time being, he's prioritizing relic collection, which I don't think is necessarily bad, but it's going to delay his economy a little bit. He'll still be in a pretty good spot though, later on. I'm pretty curious as to what Lee will be able to go for against Winchester Civilization though. Against Poles. I would imagine something like a big mass of Lombos and some Halberdier will be what he needs. Try and make an unstoppable army even against Winged Hussar. We'll see. It's going to also depend on who goes out to the Imperial Age earlier. For instance, if Winchester got access to Cavalier, he could make use of that if Leary was not in a position to go for Halberdier yet. But that would require a much stronger economy than what Winchester's got to work with. He's going for the 30C right now, yes. He's delayed by a lot, and Leary's already 9 workers ahead. Because he's got the 4TC, Leary's gonna keep on getting ahead so long as he can keep all 4TCs working. It's going to be a challenge, but he will be able to get it, for sure. And there's a 4TC on the way for Winchester as well. Yeah, Winchester's got heavy plow as well now so he will be saving some resources. Not been going for quite as many farms yet. While Leary, on the other hand, has been going for a lot with only horse collar over here. So that's eventually going to pay out for Winchester too. And having the relics is going to be good. He's already managed to secure 2. He's got 1 inside already. He's bringing another one back, I think. Somewhere. No. He's going after the rest of the relics. Pinch only has to be like 2 additional full works with farms, and then he can go imp. Let's see. It's got more farms coming up over here, and And heavy plow is not only going to give him extra food for each farm, thus delaying the need to reseed them, but it also increases the amount of food that each farm drops after it finishes building. So it does make sense that he wants to go for the eco upgrades first. And he gets delayed a little bit, but I actually have ended up collecting more resources. Let's take a look. So he's got the first folwark over here, and he's trying to surround it with farms, right? Once he's done with that, we're going to take a look. Leary's got right now 34 farms. Winchester is currently on 20. And at this point in time, you take a look at gather economy time, and it's looking better for Leary, yes, as you should expect to be the case. However, Leary with this, extra amount of gather economy time, about 25 minutes or so, should have at most about 500 extra resources. But because of Winchester's folwark mechanic, let's see what the actual amount of resource collected is so far. It's better for Winchester. It's actually much better for Winchester. He has a 100 eco lead for total resources collected over Winchester, despite the fact that the Bull player was earlier to the extra TCs, earlier to the farms. He's had a much stronger gather economy count over here. And that just goes to show how strong the folwark is for the Poles. And in the end, Winchester is actually ahead, despite the fact that he is behind. Right? Behind in work account, ahead in total resources collected. Behind in work account and gather economy time, and ahead in total resources collected, which is just insane. The house denying the folwark annoys me. This one? Yeah, I know, right? But then it's going to be kind of perfect for all the other folwarks, so it's kind of fine. Oh, he's got another one coming up over here. Beautiful. Should be able to surround this one too. The castle's coming forward for Winchester. We saw this one. Leary's going to be the first one to go up to the Imperial Age, though. And this is what I was talking about. If Winchester is unable to go up to the Imperial Age earlier, then he's just going to be banking on Imperial Age units against Imperial Age units. So we could see Leary make a play for Arbalesters or Lombos in Halberdier, while Winchester is only going to have access to Cavalier, which will not do too hot against Halberdier. Winged Hussar, which will have bonus damage against archer units, but will not deal too well with a Halberdier, of course, still. So we'll see. I know, this is... There we go! It was also triggering. OCD, Winchester's OCD. He doesn't have to do it in the house just to get the perfect farm over here. Guys, you can just release a sigh of relief. Alright? And this one's going to be a perfect folwark very soon as well. These are the exact opposite of T90 farms, by the way. Can we call these Vinch farms now? From now on, can we make it a thing? It's got full folwarks. Almost completely perfect farmed. He just needs to go for the one over here. And it's gonna be fine. Extra castle coming up down the south. And, okay, we have the Obuch. The Obuch will be good against Halberdier. Will not be that hot against Lombos. So it's kind of a similar situation compared to before. Call the 090 farm. Now I'm kind of getting annoyed by Winchester not going for the farm over here. Come on, man. He's trying to kill us. Asking the important questions. We need for the interview Masmora to nag Winchester, not going for the missing farm over there. Regardless, it's gonna be the Imperial Age very soon, but Leary's got him beat to it. He's got a second castle coming up as well, so Leary is going to be also on 2 castles himself with a head start to the Imperial Age. Should be the first one going for trebuchets, and he's got the first trebuchet queued up. Second castle comes up over here, and he's gonna go for the second trebuchet as such. Bracer chemistry in Town Watch for good measure. They're coming up for Leary. Meanwhile, Winchester's going for Schlack the privileges. I am not really sure I like that too much. I mean, it's not a bad technology or anything. It's just that, is it really going to want to go for Cavaliers? Is that something he's going to commit to? Otherwise, these are resources he could have used for something else. He's got the stables. He's got bloodlines, husbandry, coming in, scale, bar. It seems like we will see the Cavalier, yes. And Leary Well, Leary's got the first choices coming out. Remember, with Britons, there's always a possibility for Leary to get Werewolf. And that's going to buy him a very nice position against Winchester if it comes down to a Trevor. Beautiful second line of walls coming out for Leary over here as well. And Winchester, this was his home map. This is his civilization he wanted to utilize. But he doesn't seem to be in a particularly great spot over here. The castle's going down 100%. Winchester's just going to target the castle over here, which means he's going to lose his castle for sure. And the Lombos don't have enough range to target the treasure over here. Okay, there we go, they're going out. Pro tip, Schlachta is pronounced Schlachta. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, I'm not really sure what you mean exactly. I will need a phonetic representation because I just read the same way both. I got that one from Google Translate, I believe, the way that I pronounce it right now. Let me check it up. I heard it wrong? So is it Schlachta? Schlachta privileges. That's the way that I say it. We have Cavalier, guys. We have Cavaliers coming up. Fort Winchester. Oh, okay, thank you. And he's going out to the churches right away. The Lombos will take many of the Cavalier down. And they will keep one of the trebuchets alive still. And this is great. We have Halberdier, we have Lombos. That castle still under a lot of pressure. Only 3 villagers over here. 4 villagers repairing the castle, which means it's still going to take more damage than it's being repaired for. And that means Winchester does not get access to Obluk anymore after losing this castle, right? He's going for another one down the south of his base over here in front of his front gates. But with only 1 castle, it should not. Here we go. Suffice for him to get enough to counter the Halberdier. And of course, Leary, with Halberdier and Lombos over here, is going to be in a much better position to take an engagement against the Cavaliers. No matter how cheap the units from Winchester are, these are still going to be costing gold, and they are not going to be cost effective when taking an engagement against this type of army. So this castle's going down, guys, and the castle from Winchester on the right hand side is coming up in a moment, but it's basically just going to replace the one that's just going down, or that's about to go down rather. And there we go, this one crumbles. The one on the right hand side still does not finish building. So no more Obuk for Winchester. Just gonna make a play for skirmishers now, which I don't think is going to suffice. Skirmishers are going to be fine against archers and pikemen in the castle age, but against Halberdier, they do not scale quite as nicely in that regard. So a good amount of Halberdier is still going to be a fantastic meat shield, and that is without even taking into account the potential for Warwolf trebuchets. Once we get that, Leary's going to have basically 16 range bombard cannons. Basically 16 range Hubnita, actually, because of the blast radius for the trebuchets as well. So yeah, architecture's coming out for Leary, and it doesn't seem like Winchester will be able to do too much. Guys, the population is telling a grim story over here for the Russian players. Leary is coming over. At the very beginning I said that maybe I'm liking Poles a little bit better. But then as I started thinking about the potential army composition, I said, you know what? I'm not so sure anymore now. Leary is proving the Poles are not necessarily coming out on top over here as this castle's going down. And there we go. The Cavalier get completely wiped out. And we have skirmishers for Winchester, but he's got 14 military units, 7 of which are skirmishers. And so long as he holds on to a good amount of Halberdier over here, it's going to be impossible for Winchester to approach this army. This is an untouchable push from Leary. It's absolutely fantastic. Do we have Warwolf over here? We don't have Warwolf yet. Do we have Yeoman? We don't have Yeoman here yet. So no unique upgrades for Leary, but honestly, he doesn't need them. He does not need Warwolf. The skirmishers over here are too low in numbers to, to matter at all. Skirmishers will go down to Halberdier though. You know, they're going to go down to Halberdier already. Yeah, and of course the Cavalier ditto as well. So it's very much looking like Winchester's on the ropes over here. Leary. He's coming in with a killing blow. Taking the productions buildings down next. Going for a forecastle that's going to serve as a stepping stone around which Leary is going to be able to go for extra buildings and keep on fueling his push. And this is looking absolutely fantastic for the Bull player in Winchester. Winchester's not calling the GG because his population is decent, and this is the last game. If he calls the GG over here, he's coming out 4th in the tournament. So he's gonna want to keep on trying a little bit, but Leary is looking unstoppable, and you know, honestly, I don't really see a comeback condition over here for Winchester. Very similar to what we saw in the previous game, right? The only way that Winchester will be able to come back would be if Leary stops paying attention to his army or throws the game in some form. And then Winchester will maybe have the chance to clean the units up and then start pushing him back. But even then, if Leary starts paying attention, right? Let's say Leary goes AFK for a minute and then he comes back. Leary's still in a better position, so it doesn't seem like there is too much potential over here for the red player. He's losing the monetary. He's losing the relics. Does he have any gold inside the walls? He's got some still, yes. Let's take a look at exactly how much this is. Yeah, okay, that's going to surprise, but he's going to get pushed away from the golds very soon as well. The piece is going down over here. We see Yeoman coming out for Leary as well, as if his Lombos were not strong enough. Now they are going to be freaking targeted missiles. Yeah, and the GG's coming up for Winchester because, guys, Leary was completely unstoppable. This game doesn't doubt taking game number 4 and getting the series thus. Coming up 3rd for Warlords, and after this series, of course, you know, there's the best of 9 series coming up. The grand finals of the tournament, where we'll see the Viper and Hera duke it out for the championship. For the achievements for this one, finally, we'll see a better KD for Leary. In the end, it's going to be about 9-5. Very good. Very cost-effective as well. He was training Lombos and Halberdier for Cavalier and Trebuchets and Castles. Stronger economy for Winchester, mind you, yes, for sure. But it did not matter. The KD was so much better for Leary. The trades were so cost-effective that Winchester ended up kind of burning through the extra resources he collected, just going for more expensive units that in the end ended up just dying, so... Not the best position over there for Winchester. Leary ends up taking this one. 3-2-1. Leary comes out 3rd. Winchester comes out 4th.